Hello, and welcome to this continuation of regression sessions with Fil, helping her to let go of her phobia of deep, dark water. If you haven't already watched the first session, I would advise you to watch that before you look at this one, because what follows will then make more sense. Now, Fil is both a hypnotherapist and a medium. And on the day of the recording, she was already tuning in subconsciously to what was going to be happening in the regression session. Now, what this meant is that as soon as she went into trance, she immediately regressed back into the past life from our previous session. That meant that that past life had not been fully released and still had some energy in it. What this also meant is that the structure that I aimed to introduce at the start of a therapy session just went straight out of the window. And I was then following her, allowing her subconscious to lead us where it knew we needed to go. Your subconscious is the all-knowing, all-wise part of you. And if we allow the subconscious to guide us in therapy, it will do the job very, very effectively. You will see Fil in the regression experience all three aspects of regression: this life, past lives, and an ancestor's life. And she releases a lot of emotion, which is what the regression process is usually about. The regression model is that all of our issues as human beings come from locked-in feelings and emotions from past traumas. When we're able to release those emotions, then the issue we're working on just dissolves away. You will see Fil experience multiple past lives, including an unusual one, in which she relives a past life as a fish, the death of the fish in that life. This is a past life she'd already explored with me a few years ago, when she first trained with me in past life regression. But it obviously meant again that in that session we hadn't fully released the emotions, so there was more to do. So it is unusual in regression to relive a past life as an animal, but it does sometimes happen. And those past lives in therapy terms are just as valid as past lives in human form or in non-human form, let's say on other planets as other energy forms. You'll see at the end of the session that Fil is understandably exhausted, but she's also a lot lighter and she feels a lot better inside herself, which is a good sign that we've released a lot of emotion that has been holding her back and causing the phobia. I truly hope you find this a fascinating experience, watching this live regression session. Thanks for watching. Hello, and thank you for joining us for this regression session with my friend and colleague Fil to continue working on her phobia of deep, dark water. This is session 2 that we've recorded, and what we'll be doing in this session is continuing the process of guiding Fil back into the past in order to continue working on the emotional causes of the phobia. And the aim of this, of course, is to reduce the phobia and to hopefully eventually, perhaps even in this session, release the phobia completely. Here we are in Abbey Place Clinic in Faversham in Kent, and thanks to Marcia, the director here, who's also on camera, operating the cameras tonight with my son Rob on the sound. And so, Fil, let's talk about where we were in our last session. Hopefully you've watched the previous session, because that will make a lot more sense of this session. So, Fil, let's talk about the last session first of all. Very unpleasant past life that you were brutally murdered by a thug in 18th century America. He raped you, stabbed you, and then drowned you. We went back through that very unpleasant death experience several times. And you were great. I mean, you did a fantastic job to stay with it, even though it was very unpleasant, and of course released a lot of the energy and a lot of the emotion from the past life. So how have you been regarding the phobia since the session. So tell me, what have you been feeling regarding water and deep water?
Well, recently I was down at the coast and I didn't feel that fear when I was by the sea. It didn't feel so foreboding. I felt okay with it, because usually with the sea, the deep water, it just it fills me with dread, and I didn't have that this time.
Okay.
It felt okay.
Yeah. So that in EFT would call it the zzz inside that you get when you're in a triggering situation. That really didn't happen at all, or very much?
No, it didn't really happen at all. In fact, I thought, oh, I could actually swim in that water.
Yeah.
Although I'm quite funny about, if I can't see the bottom, but it didn't feel, I wasn't scared at all.
Okay, that's good.
I didn't have that fear.
Obviously, we made really good inroads into releasing the phobia as a result of that. And yet, when we were talking earlier before we came on camera, we talked about the past life, and you said that it still seems to be with you a little bit.
I still get flashbacks every now and again. I'm there. I'm back there. I see myself still there,
being murdered and brutalized.
Yeah, and I see myself by the lake more than anything. I'm by the lake. It's just really crazy because it would just come to me. I'm not consciously thinking of it.
Yes.
It would just come to me automatically.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So what this may mean is that past life isn't fully released yet. May mean that. I mean, it may be that it's just a natural reaction to remember it and to feel a little bit wobbly. But it may still be that we need to do some work in that life. So we'll check it through once we go into trance and we ask your subconscious to come through. So
I mean, when we did the last session going home, because we left quite late, I felt okay. I felt lighter. I didn't feel so tired. I felt good. Despite what I'd been through, I felt okay about it.
Good.
So, but I do still see and feel that I'm still there.
Okay. Yeah.
Like a part of me is still there, if that makes sense.
Okay. Of course, lighter is a word that many people use once we've done a regression, because this release of emotion makes people feel so much better. And this is a standard feature of the regression process. We go back into the traumas, release as much of the energy as possible, and then the negative effect that trauma has had on you in this life just dissolves away. So that's what this process is about. Okay, my dear. Well, let's see about doing a bit of trance work, and let's see where your wonderful subconscious wants us to go to in this session. Okay, Phil, so when you're ready, just begin the process of going inwards. Allow your eyelids to close down over your beautiful eyes, and just begin that process of gently drifting into trance. Doing your best to let go of background sounds and noises.
I feel quite jittery. My stomach's feeling quite...
That's okay.
I'm feeling I'm going to spasm.
Yeah. Okay, so there's something coming through then. So let's follow this through, Phil. So just go with this feeling. Let it come through into your body.
I feel cold.
Okay. Feel the coldness. Let your body feel it. And as you're doing this, allow your mind to move back into the past. So part of your mind is tuning in to something in the past that's causing this coldness, that's causing this tension, this jitteriness. At the same time, allowing your body to feel it. That's right. And as you're doing this, moving a little bit deeper into trance, feel yourself drifting down, going inwards, letting those feelings come through into your body, letting your body move in whatever way it needs to do. What I'm curious to ask is whether what you're experiencing feels as though it's coming from the past life, from our last session. In which case, if that's the case, then just go with it and just go with the imagery that came through last time. If it's not from that past life, then just go with whatever images come through this time, please. Just get a sense of what's happening. And just keep letting it come through, feeling it as deeply as you can. However unpleasant the feelings are, let your body remember them. Because the more you can feel the feelings, the more your body is releasing them. Now, what do you get a sense of, Phil? Are you getting any images coming to mind, or any sounds, or any intuitive feelings?
I'm by the lake.
You're by the lake, okay.
I'm by the lake.
That's fine, let's go with it.
I feel cold. I'm cold.
You feel cold?
I feel cold. I just feel very jittery.
Okay, that's fine. Just keep letting it come through. I mean, there's a very strong likelihood, of course, that this is the death experience in the past life. Having said that, if it's a different experience in the past life, then go with it. But just let yourself tune in a little. Just let the feelings come through.
I'm by the lake. But it's almost like I can feel it more.
Okay.
I can feel it more than what I can see it.
That's okay. Does it feel as though this is part of the death experience that we explored before?
I just feel my stomach.
Okay.
It just feels like it's just tight.
Yeah.
Like I'm going into spasm.
Right. Well, let's keep moving through it then. So, as we know, sometimes when we regress back into past traumas, the body remembers, the feelings come through very strongly. We don't always get visuals, and this may be just your subconscious's way now of just releasing maybe the last sort of residual tensions from that life.
I feel cold again.
Yeah, go with it.
It's almost like my soul is leaving my body. That's what it feels like. It feels like my soul is leaving my body.
Okay, so just stay with it. Just feel your soul leaving your body. If that's what's happening, go with it. Just let it come through. Feel that fear as deeply as you can. Go with it. Let the feelings build, Phil, so you can move through it. This is almost certainly, I don't like to implant things, but this is obviously the death experience from the past life that you're in. So let's just stay with this. Keep moving through it.
I have to go to the light. I feel cold again.
Mm-hmm. It's okay, there may just still be some more energy there. Just keep letting it come through, Phil, it's okay. And just for the benefit of the viewer and for the camera, this is what we call working kinesthetically, which is where the client's subconscious goes into the trauma, and we don't really get any visual content, no narrative or very little narrative, but the subconscious is releasing the trauma at this energetic level through feelings in the body, fear, anxiety, etc., sadness, anger, and also energetically just releasing the energy that's locked in Fil's energy field and has always been locked in her energy field throughout this lifetime. So what we do in these therapy sessions, working kinesthetically, we just let the energies come until there's nothing left, until it's flat. Sometimes that's achieved when a client moves into spirit and then experiences real peace and calm. Sometimes it's just a question of just releasing over time and letting the body do this. So this is what we're doing. We're releasing this past life trauma, the death, kinesthetically. And at some stage there'll be no energy left in it. Fil will pass through into spirit and feel very calm.
Something's released me.
Okay.
It feels like I've been released. I feel free.
Okay.
I feel free. I feel different.
Okay. Stay with it, because for me, once your hand settles and becomes static, that will be like a sign. I think that'll be a signal that the work is done. So until that happens, just keep letting it come through, Fil.
I'm in my mother's life now.
You're in your mother's life now.
I'm back with my mother's life.
Okay.
Back to when she was a child.
Okay. Okay, so you've now gone down a thread into your ancestral line, and we're now doing an ancestral or an inherited trauma release. So your mother's a child?
Yes.
Any images that come to mind, Fil?
I'm back there as a child.
What are you seeing?
I'm back in the streets of London. I'm in London. I'm in London.
Okay.
I'm in London.
Daytime or nighttime?
It's daytime.
And what's happening? What's your mother doing as a child?
She's playing in the street with her sister.
Okay. What's the feeling like? Go with it. About how old would you say she is, Fil? What would you guess? Just guess.
About 6 or something.
About 6, so she's quite young. And what's she playing with her sister? What sort of thing is she doing?
Just playing in the street.
Okay. And what's the feeling like, Fil? How's this little girl feeling?
Confused.
Okay.
Confused.
And what's the reason for that?
Because she doesn't know what's going on.
In what sort of ways? What's going on?
She doesn't understand what's going on.
Okay.
She doesn't understand who these people are. Different people.
Say that again, Fil.
Different people.
Okay.
It's not settled. This is not settled.
Okay.
It's not settled. Things are not settled
Things
at
are
home.
not settled.
For her at home.
So she's confused. There's some tension there, I'm guessing, some anxiety.
She doesn't know what's going on.
Doesn't feel comfortable, perhaps.
She doesn't know what's going on.
Doesn't know what's going on. Yeah.
She doesn't get told.
Okay.
She can't make sense of it all.
Right. Stay with it. Almost like you're either very close to her or you're in her body looking out at the world through her eyes, feeling her feelings as much as you can, as deeply as you can.
It's just so... I don't understand.
Yeah.
She had to be strong. She was the eldest. She had to be strong.
Mm-hmm.
My mum was the oldest. She had to be strong.
Okay.
She looked out for her siblings. She shouldn't have been doing that. She was a child.
So was this even from a young age? She was the carer for the family?
Kind of.
In a way, yeah.
Kind of. She was cheeky though.
She was cheeky. Like a daughter.
Mama's cheeky.
Yeah. Just keep moving through it. It's okay. Just go with it, Phil. It's okay. Is this your sadness about your mum? Or is this something else?
I'm back in the hospital.
Okay, just go with it. It's okay. Just be there, Phil. I know it's painful, my dear. Just stay with it. It's okay. Just stay with it, Phil. It's okay. At least you were there with Phil.
I watched her die.
Yeah, I know.
I watched my mum die.
I understand. It's okay. It's okay to feel it.
I loved her so much. I love her so much. It broke my heart.
Yeah. I understand. Just stay with it. It's okay to feel it. It really is okay to feel the sadness, Phil. It's okay.
I just wanted it to be me.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted it to be me. So much sadness.
Yeah.
So much sadness. Yeah, it leaves a hole in your heart.
Of course, I understand to lose your mother in that way. So you're there in the hospital as she dies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I screamed.
Yeah.
She came back. I thought she died, but I shouted.
Okay.
And the nurse told me off for telling her to come back.
Mm.
Then I let her go.
Yeah.
But I didn't want her to go.
Of course.
And I had to be strong.
Yeah.
I had to do it.
Of course, and I know that with the wisdom that you have now, as the person that you are now, that you understand that it was her time to go, and that you had to let her go.
It was too soon.
Mm.
It was too soon. I hadn't had my fill of my mother.
Yeah.
I still needed her. I still wanted her.
Yeah.
She was my rock. She still is.
Yeah.
She was the one that had belief, that believed in me. I know she's beside me.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know that she's still with you in spirit, and you know that.
I feel like there's a void. I feel like I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the next thing to come along.
Okay, just let it come.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, let's let your subconscious go where we need to go.
I feel I'm there. I feel I'm on the deck of a ship or a boat.
On the deck of a ship, okay.
Or a boat.
Boat.
It's wooden. It's a wooden deck.
A wooden deck, is it moving? Is it at sail or at sea or is it harbour? At sea. Okay. And what do you see as you look around on that deck?
I've been there before. I've been there before.
Is this the past life that we very first did on the training course?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll let you explain this because this is unusual as a past life. Very, very powerful.
Again, I'm dying.
Yeah.
I'm dying. I'm a fish. I've been caught.
Yeah.
And I'm dying.
So you're on the deck of that wooden boat or that wooden vessel, you've been caught, you're a fish, they've left you to die, and there you are just dying on the deck, gasping for breath or
Soulless.
and worthless. I remember this in we just for the benefit of the viewers, this was a past life that Fil experienced a few years ago when she did her past life therapy training with me, and she went into this past life where she was a fish. And it's unusual, but we do sometimes get past lives coming through as animals, and very powerful release. I remember the actual course. Fil really went into the unpleasantness of the death and also the sense of worthlessness. She was just left to die, and there was a lot of pain, a lot of anguish that she went through. And obviously we hadn't fully released that past life because it's still coming through. So just go with it, Fil. Just let it come through then, my dear. That's it. And it was almost the shock. I remember this. There was a lot of shock about this. It was the shock of not just being hauled up on deck out of the water, but also then just left. And so feel the agitation, all that tension.
Do you know what? I see the fisherman now.
You see the fisherman now? Okay.
And I know that one of them has a child. I don't know how I know.
Okay.
I don't know if the child is there, but I know he has a child. Unless he's there. He has a child. He has a little boy. And there, he's on the deck. I didn't see him before.
Okay.
I get a sense of him now.
Yeah. Now, it may not be the case, Fil, but do you feel that the fisherman, the soul that was the fisherman, has in that life has been reborn in your present life in some way, or not?
It's the child.
It's the child that connects to this present life. Okay.
It just connects in some way. I don't know if it's the present life.
Okay.
That child, I'm drawn to that child. It's a little boy. There's a little boy.
Yeah.
Unless it's the way he's looking at me with sadness. He's looking at me with sadness and fear.
Okay. As if there's some sympathy there for you.
As though he can see my soul.
Mm-hmm.
He's a child.
Yeah.
They're very perceptive, children are. They feel sadness.
Yeah.
They're not hardened to the world. He feels sorry for me. This child. I didn't notice that child before.
No. Well, you were so in the energy of the death when we worked through it before that all these incidentals are just in the background.
I didn't notice him. I didn't notice.
Yeah.
He's important. He's important.
Okay. Okay. Let's see where this should lead you to. Just stay with it. Again, this may be another layer coming through. Again, just let your body feel it. Get a sense of where you are.
Oh, gosh. I'm in the Blitz. I'm in the war.
Say that again, Phil.
I'm in the Blitz. I'm in the Blitz. I'm in London.
In London, in the war?
I'm in the war. I'm in the Blitz.
Okay.
I'm in the Blitz.
Whereabouts are you? What's happening?
London.
You outside someplace or inside?
I see fires.
Mm-hmm.
What a mess.
Okay.
What a mess. We're not defeated. We won't be beaten.
Do you get a sense of being male or female?
I'm a female. I'm a woman.
A woman? Okay. What are you doing? What's happening?
I have a buggy. I have a pushchair, a buggy.
A pushchair, a buggy. Is there a child in that, or?
I think so. I don't know. I think so. I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Okay. Let your body feel the fear.
I'm scared for my baby.
Okay.
I'm scared for my baby.
Yeah.
What am I to do? We're all scared.
Of course. So where you are now, is there an air raid going on?
I just feel I'm walking the road with my buggy.
Yeah.
And there's the buildings of some are demolished.
Daytime or nighttime?
Daytime.
Daytime. So it's daytime. You're walking, are there others around, or? What's happened now?
I have to go back.
Go on.
My hands stop moving.
Yeah.
I have to go back.
Okay, so go with it. Go back to where you need to go back to. You feeling anything right now, Phil, or is that sort of eased away, the agitation?
It's eased away.
Okay. Let's go back and find out what happens. You're walking down that road, there's demolished buildings, you've got the buggy, the pushchair.
Oh, they're telling me the news.
Say that again, Phil?
They're telling me the news.
They're telling you the news. And what are they telling you?
She's had the bomb fell on her house.
The bomb fell on her house. So in that life,
Yeah.
you were in the house or not? No.
Someone's telling me the news, one of the neighbours.
One of the neighbours is telling you that the bomb's fallen on your house.
Someone's house has been bombed.
Okay.
Yeah, did you hear the news? I think I'm in the East End.
Okay.
Yeah, very cockney.
Yeah.
Very cockney.
So this bomb dropping on somebody's house, does that feel like it's somebody's house that you know? Okay. Let's go with it.
They were asleep. They were asleep.
They were asleep and then the bomb landed? Okay. Do you think they survived?
I don't know. Someone's telling me the news.
Yeah.
People are moving out of London. She's gone to live with her sister or something out in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all right for her because she's got a sister in the country, but not all of us have people in the country. That's annoyed me. That's really annoyed me.
It's annoying you. Okay.
That's annoying me. He's come back. I think my husband's come back.
Okay.
He's come back. I don't know whether he was in the army, but he's back. He's back.
Mm-hmm. Does it feel as though he's sort of come back from the war, he's come back on leave or something like that? Is that?
Feels like a stranger.
Okay.
I've had it fucking tough. I've had it so tough. Just fucking waltzes in. Doesn't think what we've been through. He's got to get a job.
Okay.
Life goes on. He's back.
Uh-huh. How do you feel about being back together with him?
So much has happened. I don't think I understand him.
You don't think you?
He's been through a lot.
Okay.
But life goes on.
Uh-huh.
Make the breakfast in the morning at the table. Do you want a cup of tea, love? People move on.
Uh-huh.
The war becomes a memory. Sitting there at the table reading the paper. Hot-boiled eggs. See the hard-boiled eggs. Cup of tea, paper.
Does it feel as though this is after the war, Phil, or is it does? Okay, so he's come back from the war is finished, and now you're sort of re-establishing being together, I suppose, re-establishing the relationship. How does that feel?
I could have lost my fucking life. I wasn't in the country. The sirens. I can hear the sirens.
Okay.
I can still hear the sirens.
Okay. Is this like a sort of a memory that's triggering you? Although, as if you're hearing the sirens in the past, or is it actual sirens?
I'm still traumatised by the sirens.
You're still traumatised, yeah. So what nowadays we'd call PTSD. Yeah.
Just gotta act like it's like everything's okay. Live through hell. I've lived through hell.
Say that again, Phil?
I've lived through hell.
You lived through hell, yeah. Phil, I'm going to ask you to go back into those hellish memories in the Blitz, in the war. I'm just wondering if there's still energy there that we need to release. Let's just go back into any memories from the time in the Blitz in the war that still feels strong. And let's relive them, re-experience them as deeply as you can. Feel the fear, feel the terror.
People lost their lives. Mothers lost their children. I see that.
What do you see?
I see death.
You see death?
People dead.
I understand.
Stretches. Blood.
Yeah.
Buildings. People didn't leave their houses. They didn't want to leave their houses.
Yeah.
They thought they'd be okay.
Yeah.
Oh God. I lived through hell.
Yeah.
I was back there in America.
Okay. So where we started in that same past life, being stabbed. Okay. Let's go with it then, because obviously there's still some energy there. Just let it come through. May just be another layer that just needs to be released. I'm not going to ask you to go anywhere else, just stay with this now, Phil. Really go into it as deeply as you can.
I feel sick.
Feel sick? Okay. Yeah.
I feel sick. I feel sick.
That's okay. Just feel the energy. Obviously you're not going to be sick, it's just an energy your body's remembering, but just stay with it. There's a coldness there like it was at the start of the session. Or is this now really focused, centred into your stomach more than anything?
Stomach.
It's the stomach, okay.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay, just feel that. Let it come through. Let your body remember. Again, we know it's part of the death experience, so at some stage you'll move into spirit, so just keep moving through it.
I shut myself down.
How do you mean?
I shut myself down to stop feeling anything. When I was there,
Okay.
I froze. And that's why I feel cold now, because I froze. I froze. But it's all right.
So you pushed all the feelings down.
Yes. I made myself numb.
Okay. I'm guessing you knew it was the end. You knew that you weren't going to survive this.
I knew. I saw his eyes.
Yeah.
They were wicked. They were so wicked. But there was remorse there as well.
There was
Remorse.
remorse.
Like he didn't want to kill me, but he had to kill me. But I had to shut myself down
Okay.
to stop feeling.
Yeah.
To stop feeling the pain. That life robbed me of this one. That life robbed me of this one.
How do you mean? Can you put words around it?
No.
Let's move through into spirit. Let the life go. Start letting go of those last remnants, those last residual feelings, those energies from that life. And also, by doing that, letting go of that shutting downness that connects to your present lifetime. So you can start being free in this present life, perhaps. So the effects that past life has had on you in this present life can be released. And you can feel yourself perhaps freer and stronger.
And focused. Focused.
Focused. Yeah, good.
I feel I need to forgive him, but I can't. I feel I need to forgive him to move forward, but I can't. Not just yet.
It's okay.
I feel that will set me free.
Okay. So I have two questions here. One is there something you can do now to actually create or achieve that forgiveness? Or is it just enough at the moment to be open to the possibility that you can create, that you can come to a sense of forgiveness at some stage in the future?
In the future.
In the future, that's fine. That's fine. I think you've got a lot of processing to do after this session, Fil, as well. And maybe that processing will move you to a place of forgiveness. But forgiveness, as we know, is a process that should occur naturally. We shouldn't forcibly make it happen. It's artificial if we do that. When we ourselves are healed, then forgiveness happens naturally. So it may just be that you're not yet at that fully healed place that you will be. But you're a lot closer to it now than you were when we started this session.
Yes.
Okay, what I'm going to ask you to do, Fil, I'm going to ask you to let the life go. Let it drift back into the past. You can process that past life in the coming hours and days, as you will do. Just let it go now. Let it drift away. Feel yourself coming away from it. And as you come away from it, feel a sense of lightness, a sense of calmness. Say that again.
I'm not alone.
Okay.
I know my loved ones are around me.
Okay, that's nice.
Comforting me.
Yeah.
And guiding me. On such a deep level.
Uh-huh.
And I thank them for it.
Yeah, well done, Fil. That was wonderful. Wow. Well, that was quite a journey, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was mad.
Brilliant. It was wonderful.
That was mad.
The agitation was there all the time, wasn't it? Coming through in your hand all the time.
My arm actually hurt. It ached, but I couldn't stop it.
Right.
It was just mad.
How do you feel now?
I feel okay, but something shifted. I said to you before when I was here, there was something here. There was a presence. There was something. There was just something in the air. I kept getting chills.
Mm.
And I felt my mum and my very good friend of mine were there with me at the end.
Okay, yeah.
And they came into play because I felt that when you said, open your eyes, beautiful, and that made me feel sad. The woman I was in the Blitz, there was a bit of resentment towards her husband because she'd lived through something, and fair enough, I don't know, whatever he's lived through, but it was like her pain it wasn't acknowledged.
Okay.
There was a degree of resentment because she wasn't fighting no war, but she saw enough. And the pain, the fear.
I did wonder whether they had to re-establish the relationship on a new level.
I think they did, yeah, they did.
Yeah.
And it almost became a bit like Keeping Up with the Joneses, and what she went through just wasn't. It didn't come into conversation.
No.
It wasn't thought about or talked about how tough it was.
Yeah. But going right back to the start, so we started in that past life from last time, and obviously from what you've experienced, it wasn't fully cleared in any way.
No.
There was still another layer there, another deep layer. And then you moved through from that into your mum's life. So then you spontaneously moved across from a past life into an ancestral life, and feeling your mother's tension as a little girl and all the agitation of that. Then we moved into your life, and obviously your deep sadness about your mum's passing. And
I was there.
and it was good to do that, because it's good to let go of that emotion. It's not about losing sadness over your mum's death, but that deep sadness, it's okay to release that. And that fish past life, I mean, that was dramatic the very first time you went into it, because you were writhing and screaming because you were on the deck as a fish dying.
Yeah.
And you were reliving that, and it was really dramatic. I remember the students on the course. I mean, they just sat with their mouths open watching it. It was just so dramatic to see. But there was still energy there, and then that beautiful connection with the boy. And it, the sense was perhaps that the boy is in your soul group and you have a connection. Having said that, it could just be that you're dying and somebody shows you some compassion.
Yeah.
And that
He felt sorry.
may have just been the beautiful thing that connected deeply with you.
I felt that. There was the child, the little boy.
Yeah.
And he felt sorry for me to see me dying.
Yeah.
Whereas, Dad's like, oh, push me. But he was like, oh, it's dying. It's a fish. And
as you said in the session, children do this. They are
compassionate.
They do.
They have that compassion.
Yeah.
Does it have to die? Does it have to, can't we just throw it in the water?
Yeah.
It's that kind of thought process.
And then obviously the Blitz, and then back into that past life from last time again, a bit of residual stuff that needed to come through. I moved you through a little bit fast at the end there, because I was just aware of time, because you've obviously been in trance a long time.
Doesn't feel like it.
No, but there was obviously we'd done the work. It just needs processing now, Phil.
I feel like I could have gone on.
Yeah, I think you could. I mean,
I felt that there was.
Well, I think also being a medium as you are, you're also picking stuff up mediumistically a lot of the time in trance. And of course that also, it doesn't necessarily confuse things, but it adds another dimension that not necessarily gets in the way, but also needs to be looked at and respected.
I felt it was okay to come back.
Yeah.
Not when you said so.
No, in your own time.
In my own time, because I wasn't alone.
Yeah.
I had two people there.
There was that beautiful tailpiece.
Yeah.
And
when we first started, I said there's a presence here.
Yeah.
And you thought it was a presence that's of this place.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that presence. It was people. It was my loved ones on this journey with me. We're with you.
Yeah. So just for the viewers, before we started recording, Phil was sitting in the chair and tuning in, because she's a medium as well. She's a hypnotherapist and a medium. And so she was tuning in, and she felt there was a presence in the room. But as we know, there is also a presence here in the building. It's a very old abbey building, or church building, I think. And it's often picked up that there is a female spirit here. So, because we thought it may be that, but Phil was obviously tuning into her loved ones who were with her, ready to comfort her, really.
And I think that's quite poignant, because I went into my mum's life, and then I went to the time of her death. So I felt her and a friend that I'd lost a couple of years back.
Yes.
They were around me. because they were both my rocks.
Yeah.
And it was like, when you said come back, and I'm like, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready.
That's okay.
I'm still here. I'm still feeling what I need to feel. And I just sense them around me saying, we're with you.
Yeah.
It's okay to come back. We've got this with you.
Yeah, good.
You're not alone.
Got that support.
And that was a comfort.
Yeah.
That was a great comfort. And it was like, okay, now I can come back.
Yeah.
Now it's okay to come back. So yeah, it did feel like we've gone full circle.
Yeah, it was quite a journey, Phil, and well done for going
Thank you.
through it and going with it. You were magnificent. So
Thank you.
It was excellent. Okay, so there's not much more I can say. That was a very powerful regression session, and obviously Phil has processing to do now just to continue allowing the dust to settle. But I will guarantee that as a result of that, the phobia of deep water will be much reduced, and we'll check that out in the coming weeks with Phil. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much for Marcia for allowing us to be here in this beautiful clinic. Thank you for operating the camera. Thanks to my son Rob for doing a great job, but particularly thanks to Phil for just being amazing.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Bye for now.